The story begins with what doesn't make headlines. When Venezuelan intelligence documents surfaced in 2013, allegedly showing surveillance of Jewish organizations, most news outlets focused on the scandal itself. Few asked the more interesting question, how did these documents reach public attention, who verified them, and what does the selective release pattern tell us about modern information warfare? According to publicly available reporting from the Times of Israel and other sources, Sieben documents claim Jewish organizations were operating as strategic arms of Israeli intelligence. The Anti-Defamation League declared the documents authentic based on detailed personal information. But here's what the coverage missed. Authentic documents can still serve manufactured narratives. The mechanism reveals itself when you track the timing. Venezuela was under increasing international pressure in 2013. Hugo Chavez was facing his final months. These intelligence documents surfaced through Analysis 24, described as a right-leaning Argentine news website. The documents didn't leak randomly. Someone chose what to release, when to release it, and through which platform. That's not whistleblowing. That's strategic communications. The leaked materials included clandestinely taken photographs of office spaces, passport numbers, travel itineraries, and home addresses of Jewish community leaders. Real intelligence documents contain this level of detail, but real intelligence agencies don't typically allow such comprehensive operational files to leak unless the leak itself serves operational purposes. Fast forward to 2023, and we see the pattern repeat with Pentagon document leaks. According to CNN and other verified reporting, classified materials appeared on Discord, a gaming platform containing allegations about Mossad encouraging anti-government protests in Israel. The Israeli government denied these claims, calling them mendacious and without foundation. But notice the framing mechanism. The story wasn't whether Mossad actually encouraged protests. The story became whether the U.S. was spying on its closest ally. Same documents, different narrative emphasis, completely different political impact. The leaked Pentagon materials bore top-secret classifications and no foreign markings, indicating they couldn't be shared with foreign nationals. Yet somehow these documents reached public discourse through social media platforms designed for video game enthusiasts. Here's where the timing tells the real story. These Pentagon leaks emerged during peak domestic tension in Israel over judicial reforms, while U.S.-Israel relations face strain over Ukraine policy and Iran negotiations. The documents alleged Mossad leadership made explicit calls to action against their own government. Real intelligence professionals know this violates basic operational security. Intelligence agencies don't conduct domestic political operations through traceable communications that foreign signals intelligence can intercept, unless they want those communications intercepted. The technical impossibility of this scenario reveals the document's true function. Not operational intelligence, but political ammunition designed to complicate U.S.-Israel coordination at a crucial diplomatic moment. The Venezuela connection becomes clearer when you examine recent reporting from Israel Hayom and other sources about Trump's 2026 operations. According to verified statements from Israeli officials, Venezuela had served as what they called a terror hub, with Iranian Revolutionary Guards, Hezbollah, and Hamas operating from Venezuelan territory. One reported plot involved an assassination attempt on Israel's ambassador to Mexico, which the Mossad allegedly exposed and thwarted in cooperation with local security services. But here's the pattern. These revelations only became public after regime change operations, not during active intelligence work. The timing suggests these intelligence stories function as justification narratives rather than operational disclosures. Intelligence partnerships operate through three distinct layers that media coverage consistently conflates. Layer 1 is operational cooperation, sharing actionable intelligence to prevent immediate threats. This includes technical signal intercepts, human intelligence reports, and real-time threat warnings. Layer 2 is strategic intelligence, long-term assessments shared between allied agencies to shape policy decisions and resource allocation. Layer 3 is information warfare, where intelligence products become political weapons in both domestic and international contexts. The Venezuela files story operates primarily in Layer 3, but gets reported as Layer 1. This confusion allows intelligence agencies to gain political benefits from operational activities while maintaining plausible deniability about their information warfare objectives. To understand the incentive structure, follow the beneficiaries. Venezuelan government officials used alleged Mossad connections to justify surveillance of Jewish communities and frame domestic opposition as foreign conspiracy. This provided legal cover for expanding intelligence operations against civil society organizations while deflecting attention from economic failures and governance problems. Israeli officials used Venezuelan intelligence documents to demonstrate the threats their agencies face globally and justify expanded operations throughout Latin America. The narrative supported budget requests, operational authorities, and political backing for activities that might otherwise face legislative scrutiny. U.S. intelligence officials used the narrative to showcase the reach of their signals intelligence capabilities to both allies and adversaries. By revealing they could intercept Israeli intelligence communications, American agencies demonstrated surveillance capabilities that serve as both reassurance to domestic constituencies and warning to foreign targets. Each party extracted different value from the same underlying information, creating a multi-layered information operation where traditional concepts of success and failure become meaningless. The operation succeeds for all participants, regardless of factual accuracy or operational outcomes. The recent hacker attacks claiming to target Mossad, reported by UPI and other sources, follow the same template. A group calling itself Handala, referencing Palestinian imagery, claims to have penetrated Israeli systems and obtained terabytes of sensitive information. They promise gradual releases of documents naming Israeli intelligence personnel. But notice the operational logic. Real intelligence penetration aims for sustained access and actionable intelligence, not public disclosure that immediately triggers security countermeasures. Public leaks serve political theater, not intelligence collection. The Handala Group allegedly published videos showing security management panels and claimed access to financial and administrative documents. These claims serve psychological warfare purposes, creating uncertainty about operational security while providing no actionable intelligence value. The technical aspects reveal more manipulation. Cybersecurity researchers confirmed some Handala claims about discovering backdoors in security equipment, suggesting genuine technical capabilities. However, the group's focus on public disclosure rather than exploitation indicates political rather than intelligence objectives. Real cybersecurity penetration maintains access for extended periods to gather comprehensive intelligence. Public revelation immediately triggers defensive countermeasures, reducing long-term intelligence value. The choice to prioritize publicity over sustained access reveals the operation's true purpose: information warfare designed to undermine confidence in Israeli security capabilities. The counterframe deserves attention. Intelligence agencies genuinely do cooperate against shared threats, and documents do occasionally leak through operational security failures. Not every intelligence story represents deliberate information warfare. The 2023 Pentagon leaks appear to stem from a Massachusetts Air National Guard member posting classified materials on gaming forums. According to Justice Department charges, individual breaches happen through personal motivations, system vulnerabilities, and human error. But the pattern of which leaks gain media amplification, which get verified by establishment sources, and which drive sustained news cycles, reveals editorial preferences that shape public understanding of intelligence work. Jack Teixeira, the Air National Guard member charged in connection with the Pentagon leaks, allegedly led an online group where classified documents were posted for months before gaining mainstream media attention. This timeline suggests that intelligence leaks exist within digital ecosystems long before they become political narratives. The transformation from leaked documents to news stories involves editorial decisions about verification standards, source protection, and public interest considerations. Media organizations must balance national security concerns against accountability reporting, creating opportunities for intelligence agencies to influence which stories receive coverage and how they get framed. Here's what media coverage systematically obscures. Intelligence partnerships operate through liaison relationships that rarely resemble the dramatic narratives we see in leaked documents. Real cooperation involves technical data sharing, personnel exchanges, joint training programs, and bureaucratic coordination mechanisms that wouldn't generate compelling headlines. Venezuelan-Israeli intelligence connections, if they existed operationally, would involve routine information exchanges about regional threats, terrorist financing networks, and weapon smuggling routes. These activities require sustained institutional relationships built on shared interests and mutual trust, not dramatic covert operations or elaborate conspiracy networks. The Venezuela story template, whether from 2013 CBIN documents or 2026 Trump operations, emphasizes dramatic revelations because drama drives engagement. Actual intelligence work is largely administrative process management between allied bureaucracies. Intelligence officers coordinate through established channels, share information according to formal agreements, and operate under legal frameworks that prioritize operational security over public recognition. The gap between operational reality and public narrative creates space for information warfare operations that exploit public misunderstanding of how intelligence cooperation actually functions. The escalation pattern appears when you track how these narratives migrate between different media ecosystems. Intelligence stories begin in specialized publications with access to government sources, gain credibility through mainstream verification, then get amplified through social media platforms where context collapses and speculation fills gaps. The Mossad Venezuela narrative exemplifies this progression. Technical intelligence assessments become spy thriller narratives, become geopolitical chess metaphors, become social media conspiracy theories. Each platform adds emotional intensity while subtracting analytical precision, creating an information environment where facts become secondary to engagement metrics. Social media algorithms reward dramatic content over nuanced analysis, creating incentives for intelligence stories to become increasingly sensationalized as they spread across platforms. The original Venezuelan intelligence documents contain bureaucratic language typical of government surveillance reports. Media coverage transformed this into conspiracy narratives about international intelligence networks. Social media discussion further amplified dramatic elements while discarding contextual information. This progression serves information warfare objectives by creating public confusion about intelligence activities while maintaining plausible deniability for intelligence agencies involved in the narrative construction process. The global implications extend beyond any specific bilateral intelligence relationship. When intelligence partnerships become public political narratives, they lose their operational value but gain propaganda utility. Countries begin using intelligence cooperation as signaling mechanisms rather than security tools. Israel's public acknowledgement of operations in Venezuela, Russia's exposure of Western intelligence activities, China's revelation of U.S. surveillance capabilities all serve to reshape international perceptions of power and capability rather than enhance actual security outcomes. This transformation fundamentally alters the strategic environment for intelligence work. International intelligence cooperation traditionally relied on secrecy to maintain effectiveness. Partner agencies could share sensitive information knowing that disclosure would damage relationships and compromise operations. Public revelation of intelligence partnerships changes these calculations by making cooperation itself a political issue subject to domestic debate and international scrutiny. Intelligence agencies must now consider how their partnerships will appear when disclosed, adding political factors to operational decisions and potentially reducing information sharing that could enhance security. The information environment has fundamentally altered how intelligence agencies operate. Previous generations of intelligence professionals could assume their activities would remain classified unless catastrophic security failures occurred. Current practitioners must assume their operations will eventually become public narratives shaped by hostile intelligence services, political opponents, media organizations, and social media algorithms. This assumption changes operational planning, risk assessment, and partnership structures in ways that ultimately reduce intelligence effectiveness while increasing information warfare capabilities. Intelligence agencies now conduct operations with understanding that success will be measured not only by operational outcomes, but by narrative control in eventual public disclosure. This dual requirement creates tensions between operational security and information warfare preparation. Agencies must maintain operational effectiveness while preparing for eventual public relations challenges, leading to increased resources devoted to public affairs and decreased resources available for actual intelligence work. The Venezuela Files case demonstrates how this dynamic transforms intelligence agencies into hybrid organizations conducting both security operations and information warfare campaigns. Modern intelligence partnerships increasingly function as dual-purpose instruments designed for both operational security and narrative warfare. The Venezuela case demonstrates how the same intelligence relationships can serve immediate security needs while generating long-term political benefits through selective disclosure. Intelligence agencies now plan operations with an understanding that their work will eventually become public diplomacy tools, which introduces political considerations into what were previously technical security assessments. This evolution represents a fundamental shift in how intelligence organizations understand their mission and measure their effectiveness. The documentation patterns in intelligence leaks reveal sophisticated narrative construction techniques. The 2013 Venezuelan documents included personal details that established credibility while omitting operational context that might complicate political narratives. The 2023 Pentagon leaks contained technical intelligence assessments alongside political conclusions that appeared designed for public consumption rather than operational use. These patterns suggest intelligence documents increasingly serve dual purposes: operational guidance for intelligence professionals and potential narrative ammunition for information warfare campaigns. The technical aspects of intelligence cooperation provide additional evidence of narrative construction. Real intelligence partnerships involve complex security protocols, compartmented information sharing, and legal frameworks that limit disclosure and operational exposure. The Venezuela files case involves intelligence relationships that allegedly violated these protocols through comprehensive documentation and broad information sharing. Such practices would typically trigger security reviews and operational limitations rather than sustained cooperation. The pattern suggests these intelligence relationships were designed for eventual disclosure rather than sustained operational effectiveness. The regional implications of intelligence partnership narratives extend throughout Latin America and the Middle East. Other countries in these regions observe how intelligence cooperation becomes public political ammunition and adjust their own partnership strategies accordingly. Some governments become more cautious about intelligence sharing to avoid eventual political embarrassment. Others become more strategic about documenting intelligence cooperation to create their own narrative ammunition. These changes reduce overall intelligence effectiveness while increasing information warfare capabilities across multiple countries and regions. The historical context reveals similar patterns in previous intelligence controversies. Cold War intelligence operations frequently became public political narratives that served broader geopolitical objectives rather than immediate operational needs. The Iran-Contra affair, the Pentagon Papers, and various CIA disclosure cases all demonstrate how intelligence activities transform into political weapons through selective revelation and narrative construction. The Venezuela files case represents a contemporary application of established information warfare techniques adapted for social media distribution and global audience consumption. The economic dimensions of intelligence partnership narratives deserve examination. Intelligence agencies require sustained funding from legislative bodies that demand accountability and effectiveness metrics. Public narratives about intelligence partnerships serve budget justification purposes by demonstrating agency capabilities and threat levels. The Venezuela files story provides evidence of intelligence agency global reach and operational complexity that supports budget requests and political backing. Intelligence agencies have economic incentives to participate in narrative construction that showcases their capabilities regardless of operational accuracy or strategic effectiveness. Media organizations face similar economic pressures that influence intelligence story coverage. Dramatic intelligence narratives generate audience engagement and advertising revenue more effectively than technical analysis or bureaucratic reporting. Editors prioritize stories that promise audience growth over stories that provide comprehensive understanding of intelligence activities. This creates market incentives for intelligence agencies to provide dramatic narratives rather than accurate information, and for media organizations to amplify sensational elements while minimizing contextual analysis that might reduce audience interest. The technological infrastructure of modern intelligence partnerships creates new opportunities for information warfare operations. Digital communications leave data trails that can be selectively revealed to support specific narratives. Cloud storage systems and networked databases allow intelligence agencies to document their activities in ways that facilitate eventual disclosure while maintaining operational security during active phases. The Venezuela case demonstrates how intelligence agencies can create comprehensive documentation of their activities that serves both operational needs and potential information warfare requirements. Social media platforms provide distribution mechanisms for intelligence narratives that bypass traditional media gatekeepers while maintaining appearance of grassroots revelation. Intelligence agencies can use proxy accounts, algorithmic amplification, and coordinated posting strategies to ensure their preferred narratives reach target audiences without obvious government involvement. The transformation of intelligence stories across different platforms allows agencies to test narrative effectiveness and adjust their information warfare strategies based on audience response patterns. The legal frameworks governing intelligence cooperation provide additional evidence of narrative construction objectives. International intelligence sharing agreements typically include provisions protecting source information and operational details from disclosure. The comprehensive revelation of intelligence partnership details in the Venezuela case suggests either massive security failures or deliberate information warfare operations designed to achieve political objectives through apparent security breaches. Legal analysis of disclosure patterns provides insights into whether intelligence revelations serve legitimate whistleblowing purposes or strategic information warfare objectives. The psychological dimensions of intelligence partnership narratives reveal sophisticated understanding of audience psychology and information processing limitations. Intelligence stories combine factual elements with dramatic speculation in ways that create emotional engagement while reducing analytical thinking. The Venezuela Files case includes verified personal details alongside unverifiable conspiracy allegations that create psychological certainty about broad conclusions despite factual uncertainty about specific claims. This technique allows intelligence agencies to shape public understanding of their activities while maintaining legal protection against accuracy challenges. The international legal implications of intelligence partnership revelations extend beyond immediate operational concerns. Countries that host intelligence partnerships face potential diplomatic consequences when those relationships become public political controversies. Belgium's concerns about hosting Russian assets and potential retaliation demonstrate how intelligence partnership narratives can complicate international relationships and create economic costs for partner countries. Intelligence agencies must consider these broader implications when designing information warfare operations that involve partner nation exposure. The academic and research community faces challenges in analyzing intelligence partnership cases due to limited access to primary sources and verification difficulties. Researchers must rely on selectively released documents, government statements, and media reporting that may serve information warfare objectives rather than analytical accuracy. The Venezuela Files case demonstrates how intelligence agencies can shape academic understanding of their activities through strategic information release that creates appearance of transparency while maintaining narrative control over research conclusions and policy recommendations. The real question isn't whether Mossad operated in Venezuela or whether Venezuelan intelligence monitored Jewish communities or whether these relationships served legitimate security interests. The question is why certain intelligence stories become public knowledge at specific moments through particular channels with predictable political effects. The Venezuela Files story, like similar intelligence revelations, functions as a case study in how modern powers use classified information as weapons in ongoing geopolitical competitions. Intelligence agencies have transformed from secret organizations conducting covert operations into hybrid institutions that combine operational activities with sophisticated information warfare capabilities designed to shape public understanding and political outcomes. If intelligence partnerships require this much public narrative construction to justify their existence, what security purposes are they actually serving? When intelligence agencies spend as much effort shaping public perceptions as conducting operations, the distinction between security work and political theater becomes impossible to maintain. The Venezuela Files don't reveal the secrets of intelligence cooperation. They reveal how intelligence agencies have become media organizations with operational cover stories. That's the mechanism working exactly as designed.